Chapter 1, A Mysterious Passenger. Once upon a time in 1976, there was a taxi driver named Joe. He was a friendly and hard-working man who loved his job. Joe knew the streets of the city like the back of his hand, and he always had interesting stories to share. One sunny day, as Joe was waiting for his next passenger, a young woman named Sally approached his taxi. She had a worried look on her face, and her eyes were filled with fear. Sally seemed mysterious, and Joe couldn't help but wonder what was troubling her. Sally got into the taxi and nervously told Joe her destination. She explained that she needed to go to a remote location to deliver a sum of money. It turned out that her dear mother had been kidnapped, and the kidnappers demanded a ransom. Joe's heart went out to Sally, and he wanted to help her in any way he could. He reassured her that he would do everything in his power to assist her. Joe's curiosity was piqued, and he couldn't help but ask Sally about the situation. However, Sally insisted on keeping the details to herself, as she feared for her mother's safety. As they drove through the bustling city streets, Joe couldn't shake off the feeling that something big was happening. He admired Sally's courage and determination to save her mother. Deep down, he knew that this journey would be unlike any other fare he had ever taken. Chapter 2, A Risky Plan. Joe continued driving as Sally sat anxiously in the back seat. He couldn't stop thinking about the dangerous situation Sally was facing. They reached a quiet spot where Sally was supposed to meet the kidnappers and hand over the ransom money. Sally looked at Joe with pleading eyes and said, "Please, Joe, I need your help. I don't know what else to do." Joe knew he couldn't turn his back on her. He agreed to stay close by and keep an eye out for her safety. As Sally walked towards the designated meeting spot, Joe parked his taxi nearby, making sure to stay hidden. He watched intently, ready to spring into action if anything went wrong. The tension in the air was palpable. Suddenly, Joe noticed a group of shadowy figures approaching Sally. His heart raced with worry, but he maintained his composure. He observed as Sally handed over the ransom money to the kidnappers. It was a risky move, but she was determined to save her mother. However, things took an unexpected turn. The kidnappers snatched the money and tried to make a quick escape. Joe knew he couldn't let them get away with it. With adrenaline pumping through his veins, he swiftly started his taxi and chased after them. Joe maneuvered through the city streets with skill, his taxi speeding after the kidnappers' getaway car. The chase was thrilling but dangerous. Joe's determination to help Sally and save her mother kept him focused. After a heart-pounding pursuit, Joe managed to corner the kidnappers' car. With a brave and swift move, he blocked their escape route. The kidnappers had no choice but to surrender. Joe had successfully foiled their plans and rescued Sally from danger. Overwhelmed with relief, Sally thanked Joe profusely for his courage and quick thinking. She couldn't believe she had found such an ally in Joe, a simple taxi driver. Joe smiled and said, "Sometimes, heroes come in unexpected forms." Chapter 3, A Happy Ending. With the kidnappers apprehended, Joe and Sally breathed a sigh of relief. The police arrived on the scene and took control of the situation. Sally's mother would soon be reunited with her daughter, safe and sound. Sally couldn't contain her gratitude towards Joe. She hugged him tightly, tears of joy streaming down her face. "You're my hero, Joe," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Joe humbly accepted her praise, feeling a warmth in his heart. The news of Joe's bravery spread quickly, and soon the local newspapers were filled with stories about the courageous taxi driver who had saved a mother from the clutches of kidnappers. Joe became somewhat of a local celebrity, with people hailing him as a true hero. But for Joe, the most rewarding part was seeing Sally and her mother reunited. He had played a small role in their story, but it meant the world to him. He realized that sometimes, a simple act of kindness and bravery can make a big difference in someone's life. As time went on, Joe continued his work as a taxi driver, but with a renewed sense of purpose. He had experienced firsthand the impact one person can have on another's life. Joe found joy in helping his passengers and listening to their stories, knowing that even a small act of kindness could brighten someone's day. Sally and her mother remained grateful to Joe for the rest of their lives. They often kept in touch, cherishing the bond that had formed during that fateful day. Joe's bravery had not only saved a life but had also created lifelong friendships. And so, the story of Joe, the taxi driver, became a legend in the city. His act of heroism reminded everyone that even in the ordinary lives of taxi drivers, extraordinary acts of courage and compassion can be found. As time went by, Sally couldn't help but develop strong feelings for Joe. His bravery, kindness, and unwavering support had touched her heart in ways she never expected. She realized that she had fallen deeply in love with him. One day, as Joe picked up Sally for a casual outing, she mustered up the courage to express her feelings. With a nervous smile, she looked into Joe's eyes and said, "Joe, you mean the world to me. You've shown me what true heroism and love are. Will you marry me?" Joe was taken aback by the sudden proposal. His eyes widened with surprise, but soon a warm smile spread across his face. He had grown fond of Sally too, appreciating her strength and determination. After a moment of consideration, Joe replied, "Sally, you have captured my heart with your bravery and genuine spirit. I would be honored to marry you." Their love story blossomed, and they became an inseparable pair. Joe and Sally celebrated their wedding surrounded by friends and family, filled with joy and happiness. The bond they shared was not only built on love but also on the foundation of trust and mutual respect. Together, Joe and Sally continued their lives, facing both challenges and triumphs side by side. Joe's taxi became a symbol of their journey, reminding them of the day their paths had crossed and the extraordinary love that had bloomed. Their love story inspired others, reminding them that love can be found in unexpected places and that true happiness lies in the simplest of moments. Joe and Sally's story became a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of love and the beauty of ordinary people coming together. And so, Joe and Sally live their lives with love as their compass, sharing their story with others and spreading the message that true love can transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. And they lived happily ever after. For more interesting videos, subscribe to this channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon, so that you get a notification when we upload a new video. Do like this video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.